a kind of private posting on Tommy, really. And if any of you know me at all, you'll know that I never post anything private. I never share anything private, and I'll be checking in with the two people involved before I post this. But yesterday I called Dominic Tajjinski. He's the MEP, Dominic Tajjinski from Poland. And Dom and I go way, way back. So I've known him since the start of everything I've been involved in. What's that, 20 years? And Dominic Tajjinski, just to say what he's like on appearance, or if you meet him, you know, he's big, he's Polish. He takes absolutely no prisoners whatsoever. He's an excellent orator, but he's also brilliant in terms of a good, solid, dependable bloke. Law and order party, Poland, no messing about. And that's the Dom I've always known consistently over years, over time zones, over, one moment please, doggy, don't do that, over everything. And yesterday I called Dom because he'd just been to visit Tommy in prison. And I was in LA actually, and I happened to see from Dom because he messaged me about it. So I gave him a quick call. And I can guarantee you, Dom is very much like me. If you ring, you're going to get, hey, how you doing? Yeah, I'm great. Every time, without fail, no matter what. I could have both legs broken, both arms dislocated. You're still going to get that. Same with Dom. And instead, I didn't get that at all. I got this other person. I instantly thought, actually, I'd got the wrong number. Then I thought, maybe he was asleep. And I said, oh, sorry, did I wake you? Because of the way he was. And he said, no, you didn't wake me. I'm just sad. And I've never heard Dom say that in all the time I've ever known him, through all the things that have gone on. I'm just sad. And then he proceeded to tell me about the prison visit and how Tommy is. And also sitting with Tommy, just hearing the noise. And then it's one of the things that you'll really become aware of in prisons is the noise surround the yelps and the screams. It is like it's like visiting a kennel of very unhappy dogs. Like it's just rage and shouting and horrible noises and cellmates passing stuff to or shouting to the windows to each other. It's kind of it's like if you imagine a nightmare amplified. It's sort of like that. People who've been inside will know this and obviously be able to explain it better than me because I haven't been inside, so what do I know? And he said that in the last week or whatever, someone had their head essentially cut off in that prison by another inmate. I can well believe it. Tommy's talked me through his routine if you're ever out in a cell, you know, the routine of being beside the door before they unlock it, straight out of your door as soon as it's unlocked, back to the wall, ready to fight outwards. Like, it's a constant, acute level, I'm guessing, of mental duress. And then Dominic went on to explain the state of Tommy. And, you know, I don't think it's right necessarily to, I'm not trying to break any trusts, but just so thin, long hair, long beard, and just knowing that you're being punished by the state and trying to endure that, things being taken from him, you know, his visits, his phone calls, things being interrupted every time, taking away TV channels that he might like to listen to, anything to break the boredom of being alone with your own thoughts all that time. And you know what? It's really, really knocked me. And this is not about me, and it doesn't matter what the impact is on me. I'm trying to articulate that it's really stuck in my head, this voice of Dom speaking. And I think I kind of see why. So if we just cut to something completely unrelated. When I put on 4 stone, 50 pounds to try and help large people see that if you feel a bit better about yourself, you know, you feel a bit better about life, like a way to endure life or survive life or get the most out of it is to feel physically all right about yourself. I remember distinctly one of the ladies who was crying because she was unhappy with her life, but she said it wasn't until she walked past a window and she saw her reflection, and I've heard this from ladies a lot, it wasn't until they saw a photo at a christening or a wedding or whatever, right? It wasn't until they saw a picture of themselves reflected back at them that it truly landed on them like a punch, like that's you, look at you. And that's what Dominic's done, you see. I kind of knew some of this stuff about Tommy. Obviously, I've been with him in the last time that he came out from Belmarsh, and I know what he looks like when he comes out, but it's having the image of Tommy reflected back at me through the window of Dominic Tajjinski, who is a tough guy and never, ever, ever sounds like he sounded yesterday, was it? Or the day before, I'm 12 hours out on the phone. And the last thing Dom said was, this is communism. Like, this is wrong. This is communism. And if you've got a Polish person telling you that, you know you've really hit the wall of how bad things are. And I know a lot of people are aware of this as well. And I refuse to only deal in the negative, because it helps no one. So I can only hope Tommy will be out of there sooner rather than later now. And there is reason to think that that will be possible. And that he can get out and that he can get help to get better. His family have time to get the help to help him get better. And I think probably most importantly, I would probably say for Dominic certainly, but certainly I can speak only for myself, is though I don't know what that's like just yet, and whilst my freedom doesn't feel certain, I can say with absolute certainty that what is being done to him does not make me want to be quiet. And what is being done to Tommy does not make me want to hold my silence, as if I ever have. And what is being done to Tommy doesn't make me frightened to get out there and be supportive of him and decent, ordinary people. I'd argue it has the opposite effect, because people only have so much. Once people lose most things, they have nothing left to lose, then, we become quite a unbeatable bunch. And I was cleared out of all my stuff a very long time ago. So I think what I take from this is just, super support for Tommy, Tommy's family, Tommy's children, super support for Dominic Tajjinski and other people getting involved to show the world, as Dominic will in the European Parliament, what is being done to a British man in a British prison where he can't be allowed out because they'll have his head. And that ordinary people like me won't be deterred, won't be silenced, won't be intimidated. Because right now, British people are absolutely being ridiculed by their own government and being told at the same time, you will not react. You will not react. Look, we're taking your tax money and we're going to give it to illegals to put them into landlord accommodation so your own kids won't be able to get a place to rent. You're not allowed to react. Someone stabs your kids. You're not allowed to react. Someone runs over someone else. You're not allowed to react. But the thing is, for some of us, that message won't work, can't work, and hasn't worked for a decade or so. So I felt important to share this. Please do think of emailing Stephen or writing to the prison, and we'll get that boy out of there soon.